I just spent a week in the Lake District and I did a lot of book shopping. This is really hard to hold. Here is every single book that I got in the week. In a town called Hawkshead, they had a second-hand bookshop. The Coils of Time, I've never heard this book. I don't know what it's about, but look at that art cover. It looks incredible, and so I just thought I had to read it. I found these gems, Ender's Game and Speaker of the Dead, or Speaker for the Dead. I remember watching the Ender's Game film when I was young, and I've never read the books, and look at these retro covers. You know I'm a sucker for a good old school cover, so I had to pick these up. And lastly, Dragon's Dawn by Anne McCaffrey. I don't really know much about her, but also I just got it for the cover, but I will read this. Next up, I went to a little bookshop in a town called Ambleside. From there, I got Tress of the Emerald Sea, a Brandon Sanderson book that I've been meaning to get for a long time. Sounds like an absolutely lovely adventure, and this is another book that's been on my wish list for a long time, The Shadow of the Gods. You mix fantasy with Vikings, you've already got me hooked. Also in Ambleside, I went into this absolutely lovely little cafe bookshop. It was so cute and it looked like they were just sort of starting up. So I really wanted to just support them and buy a book, so I got this one. Bookshops and Bone Dust. It sounds like a really cozy fantasy book. Secondhand bookshop and fantasy world. You had me sold. I bought this book from a town called Grasmere. I pretty much know nothing about this book series, but I see it recommended all the time. It looks cool, the blurb sounds cool, and so I had to pick it up. And let me know, have you read this? Is the series worth reading? Regardless, I'm going to be reading this one, so should I continue? In a bookshop in Keswick, they had a deal of 3 for 10. I've heard Joe Abercrombie's name a lot in the fantasy space now. Sadly, I've got part 2 and part 3 of the series, but they didn't have part 1 in the bookshop. But I thought, it's 3 for 10. I'll get them and then buy the first book another time. And then this is part of the same series, I believe, but sort of like a standalone book. But let me know, have you read this series? And if so, should I be excited? Because I kind of already am. We've got a theme in missing the first book of the series. I found these 3 books for £5 each in an antique shop. It's part 2, 3 and 4 of the Eragon series. Or it's not actually called the Eragon series. It's called the Inheritance Cycle, but the first book is Eragon. I don't have that book, but I remember seeing it all the time, and while I know these are somewhat young adult, they just look so nice. And I know that this series is supposed to teeter on being slightly young adult, but also you're able to enjoy it as just a really good story as an adult. So I need book 1, but for £5 each, how could I say no? And lastly, from a charity shop, I got these 2 books from Murakami. Part 1, 2 and 3 of 1Q84. I don't really know much about this series, but Murakami is one of my favourite authors. Norwegian Wood is one of my favourite books outside of fantasy. And so I thought, why not? I'll get these. These were $2.99 each from a charity shop. I think it was Oxfam. So why not? And there you have it. They're all the books that I got from the Lake District in a week. A lot of books, but like I say, a lot of them were secondhand, charity shops on offer. And also I just really like supporting these local small bookshops.